Hello, everyone, and welcome to the most prominent podcast for your New Japan Pro Wrestling content reviews. Talking about Chris's chaos right here on ChannelCortez33. I am your host, Chris Cortez. Tonight we are reviewing G1 Climax 34, nights 13 and 14. Nights 13 held on August 8th at the Yokohama Budokan in Naka-ku, Yokohama. 14th night takes place 2 days later, August 10th. It took place in the, I believe it's Xebio Arena in Sendai, Miyagi Prefecture. Oh yeah, and they were both good. Very interesting to say the least. I feel like Block A and Block B basically did a little swap where we thought Block A was almost everything but set in stone. It is now a little bit more trickier to decide what's going to happen, to see what's going to happen. It's going to come down to that last night. Block B, we've get more where there was just Cobb at 10 points and the rest at 8. We've seen some things happen, things we did not expect to happen. Right off the bat, let's talk about it. Ren Narita is up at 10. Yeah, think about that. He's tied with Evil, who's on the A block. So, and he's doing it. He's doing what he needs to do to win. And he has a very good sense of awareness in the ring. And the way he's able to get the low blow, get the cheats, and like get the referee distracted is pretty damn genius in the ring. Okay. He knows what he's doing. The guy is trained well. Okay. Also want to talk about Konosuke Takeshita. Okay, he is still in the game, but he took a loss, from Oleg. Now Bolton Oleg can hang his hat knowing that he was able to defeat arguably the best wrestler in the world in Konosuke Takeshita. Now it's looking a little scary. He's still in it though. Okay, he's still in it. I'm thinking now. Right off, I'm just going to tell you, B block. It's looking like Jeff Cobb, Konosuke Takeshita, Ren Narita. However, there will be some swaps. So right now, those guys are leading, okay. But we still have to consider other options, okay. The ones that are in the 8 points, they can still take the lead, okay. They can still knock out guys like Takeshita and Takeshita and Narita. Obviously, Finlay is still in the ranks now, tying with Jeff Cobb. That was a big one. Okay, now he's got one over Jeff Cobb. He is essentially leading the B block. I told you it was coming, and it's coming. Fair enough. Sure enough, Finlay is essentially on his way to winning this B block. Okay, Sabre is 12. He's good. He won his match. He's in. Okay. But where he sits in the A block is still undecided. We'll talk about that more so. But yeah, it's anyone's bet. We're going to go over these matches, give you a clearer picture. By the end of the review, I will go ahead and give you my predictions for the matches, and then we'll get down to it as to what I think is going to happen with the final 2 nights of the round robin. It's down to the end. It's down to the wire. And I want to go ahead and let you know, please hit that like or subscribe button. If you're into New Japan Pro Wrestling, go ahead and spread the word. You got a reviewer here that's dedicated to G1. This is not an easy review. I could do weekly episodic television and get those breaks in, but here I am doing like every other day podcast. Long podcast with a lot of thorough analysis of the matches, hold for hold, what I think is going on, and I do it as much as I can. And when I miss days, that means I play catch up. It's just as much work as anything else. So I am very much looking forward to the tournament, the brackets. I'm done with the round robin. But one more set of nights. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what's going to happen here, and I'm going to watch it, tonight, and then I'll be caught up, and we'll be right there for the brackets. But definitely, at the point of just anticipation, just want to see who's going and who's who's out and who's in. I want to see, personally, want to see Takeshita. This guy has just proven time and time again, he is the guy that could be a flag bearer for New Japan Pro Wrestling. He could be the ace. Okay. I was listening to commentary throughout the, last couple nights, talks about him being, inspired, influenced by Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, that's awesome. He's created his own self though. This guy may have been influenced by Nakamura, but my goodness, he's made himself his own guy. He looks like the prototypical wrestler you'd want to see in the ring, but he goes like any mark would want to see go. And he can do things in the ring that any mark would want to see in the ring. He's built like a WWE guy, goes like an AEW guy. He's made for, and he speaks to the crowd perfectly for New Japan. And it's not just because he speaks Japanese, which very much helps. He has a connection with them. They love him in the ring, and he seems to know exactly what he's doing with New Japan. So, it's a perfect combination. I want to see Finlay go. He's the leader of the Bullet Club. He's got to get some serious wins to really, validate his title as the leader of the Bullet Club, if that's going to happen. And he can go. And he got over on Cobb and he looked good doing it. So that is just as much of a reason for him to go. Cobb, another one. As far as I'm concerned, Cobb is the leader of the United Empire. Okay, he's the leader. He's got the most wins right now. He's most likely to make it to the Wrestle Kingdom main event out of that whole group. He's got all the skills. He's the most well-rounded. He's the guy. He's the leader of the United Empire as far as I'm concerned. Red Narita's looking so good. I've already talked about him, but I just can't get enough of how well he's done. Yuya Uemura, we're going to get into his abilities. This guy is very well the most technical wrestler I have seen in a very long time. Next to Zack Sabre. This guy, when we're just talking about chain wrestling, we're just talking about him just applying the most fundamental moves, but makes all of them look crisp, good, and makes them look real. Like he doesn't waste any movement. Even when he does his high fly flow, flow is the frog splash. He almost makes it look a little bit like offset, like wild, like as if he's not doing it as a routine performing act. He's doing it like, I got to do it as quickly as I can before this guy gets up, and I just got to make it as impactful as possible. That makes it look real. I love it. The guy is amazing in the ring. And when he puts a little more into his arsenal, it's just going to make him that much better. We heard him on the mic at the end of night 14. The promo seemed like he wasn't getting that much of a pop at the beginning, but then towards the end, he was getting more of a pop. So he's working on his promo work. Hopefully that makes him better. He's no Shingo Takagi just yet. Okay? So, and speaking of Takagi, Takagi still has a chance of making it. He's amazing. Watching him in the backstage, the things he says, he was talking about Jake Lee. He was like, what is that move I just got hit with? It's called, what the hell was that? And someone in the back is saying it's the FSB, or face break shot, but he called it FSB. He's like, I've never heard of that before. What the hell is that? That doesn't mean shit. I know what TBS means, I know I think he said PBS as well, or UPN. He's making a joke, and it got me chuckled up. The guy is incredible. He's a performer. Okay, he's an entertainer inside and outside of the ring. I love Shingo Takagi. Always have since I first seen him against a younger Hiroki Goto, another one who I love. But Goto is he's just all but not going to go into the playoffs after what I've seen with his match, and we'll talk about that as well. Jake Lee, man, vicious win. Great-O-Khan out of nowhere defeats Sonata. Man, I was gonna talk about how Great-O-Khan was, coming along so well. He's grown so much, and I'm so glad that he got out of that losing streak at the beginning of this G1. Very much like the previous G1 in the 33rd G1. And it's like he's coming out of nowhere, beating top guys. Now more than ever, he is showing that he's a serious player in New Japan. I'm loving it. And what does that say about Sonata? I mean, I am banking on him to win this whole thing. He still has a chance. I don't know how he's going to do it now. It's going to take a lot of things, a lot of different like plays, in order for Sonata to win this or even get in it. Is what I'm saying. Yes, Umino's out. Jake Lee's still in it. I'm loving that. I mean, I feel bad for Umino, but he's got a long way to go in his career. He can take the loss. Same with Gabe Kidd. He's out. Again, he's doing excellent. The guy is awesome. The most vulgar person in pro wrestling, as far as I'm concerned. So we'll get into it. Hanare pretty much out. Still putting on great matches, no matter what. ELP, he's the one that essentially took Goto. Kept Goto out, because if Goto would have won, he would have been 10 points in. He would have been looking good. ELP now also he's at 6 points, 3-5. He's been looking good these last few matches. Loving it. Would have been great to see him in, but he's obviously not going to make it. So, yeah, we'll talk about it. Yota Tsuji is out. Yota Tsuji is out. I was thinking he was going to get in. He had a chance, but I wasn't banking on it. I just didn't see him going anywhere as far as getting eliminated, but I think he's out. He's not completely out, but he's out. Yu Amura, same thing. At 8 points, I just don't know. But we'll see. We're going to see. I could be dead wrong come, nights 15 and 16, which have aired. I'm going to watch them tonight. I'm going to get that review in, and we're going to get to these brackets, and that way we can be live, move for move, right at following the brackets nights and really get into this thing. And that'll be easy to do because there'll only be a couple matches I really need to cover. As far as, unless there's like maybe a good singles match that I really want to, eyeball or something like that, something that really grabs my attention. But obviously we're totally zoned in on the G1. So let's get into it. The first match, Tetsuya Naito versus Callum Newman. I had a feeling Naito was just going to win this one. And sure enough, he did. He won it very, very definitively. And it wasn't that difficult for him as far as I'm concerned. I'm watching it. They did everything they needed to do. It's the first match of the night. It's not going that long. It went about 5 minutes and 54 seconds. Could have been a little bit longer, but whatever. We kind of knew where it was going. Newman at 2-5, 4 points. Naito at 4-3, 8 points. Naito secures almost now secures his place in the playoffs. Just hoping there wouldn't be some kind of an upset where Naito would lose. Newman attacks Naito before he can even get in the ring. Okay, before he can even take off his suit. Blasphemy. Not tranquilo, dude. Moonsault off the middle rope from Newman. We get drop kicks though. He drop kicks Naito in the barricades. Newman can do all kinds of stuff outside. He's truly amazing to see in and out of the ring. Okay, I'm serious. The way he's able to leap off of the barricades and just make it look really cool in a very unforgiving environment outside. Bell sounds. Newman dumped over the top while attempting an Oz cutter. Again, I don't care. Somebody said Newman's Oz cutter is better than Will Ospreay or hits harder. I don't care. It's called an Oz cutter, an Ospreay cutter. It's not a new cutter. It's not a man cutter. Sounds more like a Lorena Bobbitt. He needs to stop. Okay, pick a new move on. Ospreay is no longer in the United Empire. He hasn't even made claims to the United Empire. I'd like to see him do that, but he needs to get his own move already. Unless this is some sort of calling out to keep Ospreay to play at his heartstrings, to keep him, in the UE, he needs to let it go. Naito neckbreaker and cravat. Oh yeah, a cravat, baby. Newman fights back. Naito whips to the rope. Newman's nice missile drop kick from standing position after dodging Naito. Great insecurity, rugby kick, and moonsault. Newman, full ability and moves in his arsenal. Just get a new finisher. Atomic drop. Naito sets up Newman on the turnbuckle for a hurricane. No real effect. We get Newman with some deadly kicks. Pin attempt. Tries to rally the audience. Running drop kick. Look a little off. Just a little off. Didn't look like it really connected. Spine buster by Naito to catch Newman. Insecurity. Then Destino caught into a GTS, is what it looked like to me. But eventually, Naito catches Newman with a definitive Destino. Near fall, another, and it's over. Naito has 10 points. He just needs to win one more. Hopes Evil loses his next two. Okay, or his next one, rather. Well, at this point, Evil has not won. So he's hoping that Evil loses the next one. And Evil, of course, does lose to... he does lose to Shingo, with Last Dragon. I mean, we'll get into that. But Evil needs to lose another. I don't think Evil's going to make it. This is the perfect time to just say it. I don't think Evil's going to make it. I think Evil's going to be knocked out. He's not going to win this one. And Naito, therefore, will be. And if Naito wins, he's leading. Like, as far as, no, actually, Sabre would still be leading because he beat Naito. So, Sabre more and more looks to be getting the bye. So, we'll talk about that. But Newman looked good. He looked good in the ring. He just needs, he's been looking good the whole G1. Okay. He's definitely grown from, the first time I've seen him. And, good luck on him. I'd love to see him, what he's going to do, down the road. We got Great Khan versus Sonata. Second match. Khan 6 points, 3 and 4. Again, most likely out. Sonata 8 points, 4 and 3 after this. I don't know what the hell is going to happen for Sonata to win this. I know Khan's going to lose the Naito. We'll talk again, but that later. Bell sounds, quick shake. They're cool. Tap, chain, wrestling, little clean wrestling goes to Khan. And Khan soon stretches Sonata over the spine into the helicopter spin drop. Eliminator block, Shining Wizard avoided. Magic screw from Sonata executed. Moonsault lands on his feet, now jamming the knee. So his knee's going to play a part. He's going to work that knee like nobody's business. Khan focuses on the knee. Sonata rolls outside playing possum, perhaps is what I was thinking. But nah, this is going to be a continuing part of the story in the ring. Either way, Khan is going to step. He's going to work on that. He's stepping on the knee, wraps the leg around the barricades, then kicks the barricade, and we'll see that again in B block. From an unlikely admirer. We'll talk about that. Back in the ring, pin attempt, punt kick to the knee, variations of submissions on the knee. Crazy double arm chop from Great Khan. Sonata after the whip counters with a Russian leg sweep. Sonata can't run the ropes, but he can hit those two drop kicks after the plancha. Outside, right? Khan rolls out. Of course, this is standard. Sonata goes for what looks like a Destino, but it looks like he's going, in the end, goes for a cold skull. Not able to execute it. Khan able to use some sort of a judo takedown to counter the wizard. Khan, he's got like 500 different modes of martial arts that Khan has learned. Okay, I don't know the specific number, but I know it's in the triple digits. Is Great Khan. So Khan pulls off Sonata's knee pad and drops the knee. We get a TKO from Sonata. He's been using that a lot, quite a bit. Gets the kick up. Some more rubbing of the knee. Hard shots from Khan, then he falls down. Sonata gets the roll. Nope, counter to a German. Sonata lands on his tweaked knee. Still hits the wizard. Another one for good measure. Straight to the face. I'm thinking it's over. Khan out of nowhere. Setups for the Eliminator. He does that blade runner looking thing, but with the claw, then the Eliminator. Sonata loses. Not expecting this. Now both 4 and 4. Both have 8 points. I was expecting Sonata to win, especially with all this knee rubbing. Okay, it's like a special ancient method for taking care of the knee, but that did not help him enough. So yeah, I don't know how he's going to get into the playoffs, but we'll see what happens. And I don't know. I really want. I believe that he should win, but at the same time, I want some others to win. I want to see Naito. I want to see Takagi. I want to see Jake Lee go all the way into the playoffs. That's what I want to see. So, that being said, it's going to be either Takagi or Jake Lee who gets bumped off for the sake of Sonata, is what I'm thinking. So, we'll see how it works out. Shota Umino, 3 and 4 for Umino. Lee, 3 and 4. Whoever loses is out. We went all out with that kid match, did Lee. Before the bell, Umino strikes, sending Lee out of the ring. Outside, Umino is sent to the barricade, but bounces back with a drop kick. Big kick from Umino. Hard uppercut, forearm. Lee does send Umino very hard into the barricade. No bouncing back from that. Chair shot is, if Jake is, he's using chairs. If Jake is disqualified, it's 2 points to Umino, but the ref is apparently loosening up because maybe he thinks that Jake Lee will, decapitate him if he actually does disqualify him. I guess that makes sense. Finally, a count Umino brought back in. Kicks from Umino, but Lee back to kicks of his own. Big kick to the back, showed a chance going around the arena. Drop kick, no go. Boston Crab and Umino's lower back is receiving the punishment. Okay, he's really asking for it, is Umino. But eventually, he gets a little more than he can chew. Umino catches Lee with a big drop kick, strikes to lift attempt. He switches to that DDT on the apron, back in the ring, drop kick, fisherman, suplex, bridged, only 2. Okay. Lee ducks away from this key ignition, delivers the knee strikes to the gut, big kicks to the chest. Umino's hurting, catches the last kick though, delivers a big punch and sending Lee, big punch to Lee, sending him down. So he drops the kicks. Lee, though, wakes up. He gets charged. Strikes exchange, elbows exchange. Umino exploder. Lee with the German. Blaze blade, Umino. Both are down. No pin attempt. Key and ignition near fall. Umino goes for Death Rider, countered, a lift. Umino fights out. He hits the DDT Death Rider style. I'm thinking that's it. Lee does not. Lee does hit a back suplex though, and this is where all comes around. Full circle with this building, more like it's just been building up this lower back issue on Umino. Lee drops Umino after a torture rack. Okay, that's even worse. Choke slam delivered near fall. Only one thing left, that face break shot. Umino meets Lee with a blaze blade, so I'm thinking Lee's gonna lose. Another Death Rider. But then, get some kicks from Jake Lee, and then out of nowhere, he just hits the face break. It's over. Umino is out. Out. Lee is still in at 8 points. But if in order for Sonata and Naito to make it through, Lee's got to lose the next match. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Gabe Kidd versus Zack Sabre Jr. Really thought Sabre was going to lose this one, and the way that it went down, man, Gabe Kidd, just those chops were pretty much the main headline of this story. Just chops Sabre to death, or as close to it as possible. The chest was as red as a tomato. It was bad. It was brutal to watch, and the way that the match went also kind of made a lot of sense with Kidd just kind of powering through, being just more brutal, more ruthless to take on the technical ability of Sabre. However, Sabre was able to catch it in the end. Let's talk about that. Now, the Umino match with Jake Lee, that one went about 16 minutes and 3 seconds. Okay, so not quite as long as the last 2 matches, but still very close. Khan versus Sonata only went about 11 minutes and 11 seconds. So that was very, quick for the most part to take out the, Sonata. But this one, Zack Sabre, this was a brutal match. 16 minutes and 19 seconds. Okay. And they really dished it out. So Kidd was at 6 points. He's most likely just not going to get in. But if he wins, I guess there's some chance. Sabre at 10 points. Kidd's very careful. He's not like his normal self where he just goes all crazy at the beginning. No, he's not. He's a madman, but he's not going mad at the beginning of this match. Chop from Kidd in another. He keeps going. No holds for working for Sabre. Everything that Sabre's trying to do, Kidd's able to kind of back away, or break through, which I'm liking. Big running boot from Sabre in the bridge. Kidd chops the hell out of Kidd some more. Out of the ring. At this point already, Sabre's chest is vermilion. Outside, Sabre to the barricades. Starts to strike back, but cannot keep continuing. You can't continue a move sequence. So Sabre applies the guillotine, but it's reversed to a suplex by Kidd. Back in the ring, more chops. Slaps from Sabre, but double chop, pin attempt, some more chops. They get cross-legged. They start doing Shibata, a Shibata contest over here. Okay? Kidd bites the face of Sabre. Sabre does win the exchange at some point with a kick. I don't know. He chops some more. Kidd hits a German. So does Sabre and a kick. One more. How's your chest chop? Yeah, yeah, it was brutal. Double lariat, then they both send one another down. Brainbuster, Kid, near fall, some crazy shots. One more chop from Sabre sends Kid down. Kid rolls through a submission into that joint manipulation, turns it into a German, okay? Somehow does Kid. Octopus Sabre, though, on Sabre, by Sabre, sorry. Kid turns it into a tombstone. I mean, at this point, I'm thinking, God, it's got to go to Kid. Power bomb held off, grabbing the arms, roll ups, and Sabre near fall. Kid counters to a hell of a power slam. Moonsault caught to the triangle. Kid breaks out, hammers down. Power struggle ends with a hard shot from Kid. Out of nowhere, Zach Driver. But Sabre cannot capitalize on the pin. Insecurity, Sabre, Larry, Kid, near fall, slaps exchange. Sabre with a sleeper hold. At this point, I was thinking, okay, all he has to do is really go run back to the ropes to get the break. Or even just drop him on his back, slam him in. But apparently, Sabre locks the arms, and that does it. And this already had happened before, apparently, where Kid loses to Sabre via sleeper hold submission. I just felt like they could have gone, this could have gone a little bit differently. And Sabre's most certainly in now. Kid most certainly out. Kid passes out, and that's it. Ref calls it. This kind of makes things a little more definitive in that Sabre is in, and nobody can truly beat him out. I just don't see how that's going to work because he's only lost. I mean, I'm trying to think who he lost to, but he's beaten Evil. He's beaten Naito. I think he lost to Shingo. So Shingo somehow still has a way to get in, but he can't get 12 points. I mean, he has to win the next one in order, I guess, surpass Zack Sabre Jr. is what I'm guessing. But I think that's the way it is. I think it was Takagi that beat Sabre. I might be wrong. There's a lot of matches here. I'm trying to keep track. Got to look at the chart. But either way, Sabre's in. Shingo Takagi versus, I want to take a look actually now that I'm looking at it. It's going to be Sabre versus Sonata. I mean, Sonata has to win. We'll talk about that. We'll go into it later. But let's look at the next match. Shingo Takagi defeats Evil. This is versus Evil. This was a 16-minute, 54-minute match. I'm just looking at it, checking it out on Wikipedia just to make sure, because they got the times. I mean, I'm not gonna kill myself over times too much. I like to do approximations, but since this card had already passed, I can just go right through it. The times come in right off the bat, man. There's some goon in the back time in this thing and getting that time right on Wikipedia immediately. It's amazing. It's just amazing. The future is now. So, Shingo Takagi versus Evil. Evil's at 10 points. Shingo, he's distracted by Dick Togo. Usage of the chairs already. The bell hasn't rung. They're still outside. Hiromu needs to attack Togo already. He's sitting there at the commentary table, the Japanese commentary table, just watching. What the hell is he doing? He should already be involved. Shingo in the ring gets whipped and exposed to the He gets whipped to the exposed corner. Again, he hits the exposed corner, missing Evil. Snap suplex from Evil. Pin attempt shots from Shingo, though. Eye rake by Evil. Dragon screw. Shingo. Shoulder tackle. Body slam. Pin attempt after the senton. This is textbook Takagi. Evil attacks Takagi, though, while he's like talking to the crowd. A big suplex from Shingo after a quick punch to the face. Elbows. But misdirection lariat from the King of Darkness. I love that misdirection lariat. Fisherman suplex, Evil and pin attempt. It makes no sense to me, but I love the way he, rather than just bridge the suplex, the fisherman suplex for a pin, he gets out of it, rolls over, which takes a little bit more time. Doesn't really make much of a difference. It's Evil, baby. Shots from a nice clothesline by Evil, pin, temp, another lariat. After a few strikes, sliding bomber by Shingo. Evil, though, playing a little possum. Here comes the dick. After the ref, finally, Hiromu in, low blow by Evil. Bushi comes in and delivers. Out of nowhere, dude, I'm thinking Bushi has turned and he's joining the House of Torture, okay? But it's just another dude. It's Kanemaru with a Bushi mask. He's the one that hits this. I forget what he even delivered. It looked like it was, I can't remember. It was like maybe a neck breaker or Falcon Arrow maybe. But either way, it wasn't Bushi. It was the most important thing. Dick-to-dick contact, courtesy of Dick Togo. Ref back in, near fall. Darkness falls. Near fall. Commentary team is going nuts. Everything is fought off in a lariat from Shingo. Made in Japan, blocked, but not the second attempt. 1, 2, no, Dick hits the bell. Shingo shoved into the ref, whiskey bottle shot to the head, okay, by Kanemaru. Again, he fights off everything is evil. Magic Killer fought off by Tanahashi. Comes in, finally. Whiskey into evil. Missed the evil. Pumping Bomber. Again, Bushi, the real Bushi, and Hiromu come in and fight off Dick Togo and Kanemaru. We do see the last of the dragon and the win for Shingo Takagi. 8 points. He's still alive. A block. Clearly is not done yet. So that's where we are. We'll get into the predictions after we cover night 14. This one, unfortunately, Chris Charlton was not on commentary. You really miss Chris Charlton every time he leaves. I really wish that he... I'm sure he has other priorities, but I wish this was the top priority. But if he's got to do what he's asked to do. I'm not going to judge him on that. I just wish that he was able to cover the G1 completely because he's so good. Oleg out at 4 points, looking to take out Takeshita. This is a good one. I was definitely. I was a little annoyed. I was like, okay, it's the first match. It's got to be quick, but it's like, if anyone was going to be able to kind of like surprise attack or surprise beat Tanahashi, I guess it makes sense that Oleg was the guy. He looked good in the ring, but it's hard to outperform Takeshita. It's hard to make yourself look really good in comparison to Takeshita. He's going to make you look good, but better than Takeshita, that's hard. Hard shot from Takeshita, belly to belly by Oleg, sending him outside, hesitant to get back in. Boot from Takeshita, and over the top dive outside. DDT on the apron, headlock applied on Oleg, leaping lariat, running circles around Oleg. Okay, let me just say. Big slam from the big man. Shot and hard chop, splash tackle, splash. This is just textbook Oleg, okay, with that stuff. Pin attempt, gut wrench, fought off. Oleg, though, back with a spine buster. Bolton bomb. He somehow catches him, does Takeshita, into a blue thunder bomb. Goes for raging fire already, but it's fought off, and he does hit the brain buster, does Takeshita. Oleg right back up, delivers the gut wrench, the Bolton bomb. We get a pin attempt. Strikes exchange, nice lariat from Oleg. Hits the kamikaze. The near fall, German from Takeshita. Oleg the same. He's trading Germans. Wheelbarrow suplex from Takeshita. Another wheelbarrow suplex from Oleg. Get a hard shot from Takeshita and another German from Oleg. Running drop kick. Like, quick count, 1.5 and Takeshita's up. But then we get an F5 from Oleg and the kamikaze one more time for the win. So it was just a matter of just a power play for Oleg in the end. Remind me of a Brock Lesnar match, more recent Brock Lesnar match. But that's that's what was going on. They're going for hold or move for move, impact move to impact move, and that is going to go to Oleg. That makes sense. Huge win that now Oleg will be able to put on his badge of honor. I would love to see these guys go again for longer amounts of time. So there we go. Now Takeshita is not guaranteed in the B block. So I'll tell you who is. Ren Narita. No, he's not guaranteed, but he's got 10 points. Goes up against Inari. I was not expecting this. I was expecting Inari to just get up to 8 and keep Narita at bay. Narita attacks Inari along the ramp, uses the mask to blind Inari. Bell rings. Inari's still blinded. In the ring, slams. He slammed to the pad, but he's getting madder. You can tell. The anger is raging. Mask comes off with a crazy look on his face. Hits a hard shoulder tackle and the kicks. Hammers down. He misses the knee and is tossed over the corner turnbuckle to the floor. Shoulder shoved to the post by Narita, then the barricades. Narita wraps the leg along the barricade, and here it comes, kicks the barricade. I thought it was an evil attack at the moment, but no. That's a con tactic. Chair on the knee, official, is apparently cool with it. I don't know. I don't really like that. These guys are scared of Narita now. I guess I was a little bit accepting of Lee, but now Narita as well. Gotta watch out for that House of Torture and that Bullet Club, baby. Hanari eventually back in to receive kicks and more damage on the knee. Narita into a submission. like almost an Indian deathlock, but it wasn't that. But he doesn't turn Hinari over. Eye to the rope and high knee by Narita. Pin attempt. Hinari catches Narita with a berserker bomb. Whip to the rope and a lariat. Drop in that senton. Hinari's in control. Kick and pin attempt. Hard lariat hammers down. Punches to the gut. Hinari's looking good. Narita catches Hinari with an exploder. Pump kick and knee. Suplex to the bridge. Only 2. He goes for that guillotine. Blocked. But Narita's able to hit, he's switching it right to a leg lock. Roper. He's really targeting that leg now. It's really showing what his strategies were. Up top lands on his feet. We get a strike though, but Hinari right back with that lariat. Running knee and attempts from full Nelson. Ref slaps Hinari. Narita goes low. Shoulder tackle to the knee. It's like a chop block. Takes out the ref in the process. Somehow, he's always seeming to get the ref and Hinari exactly where he wants them. Okay, almost colliding into each other, and that's what Narita wants. So gets the push-up bar in hand, misses, and Hinari he hits that Polynesian drop. Can't get a count on the pin though because the ref is out. But the ref's push back in, push-up bar to the knee, then the leg lock. Hinari rolls, deadlifts, double cross is avoided by Hinari, but he hits the rampage. But then Hinari, he lifts Narita again, but no go. Narita shoves Hinari to the ref. Cannot see now Narita's low blow and the double cross followed by the 1-2-3. Hinari's completely out now. Narita is well on his way at 10 points. It's just the way he's able to get the ref. At this point, he has somehow managed to make the ref afraid of Hinari for how many times Hinari has crashed into the ref and vice versa. At one point, the ref accidentally slaps Hinari. This is all at the hands of Narita. Okay, he's a mastermind. He's got a long way to go in his career, man. Long way to go. So that match went about, let's see, Hinari is a 13-minute, 17-second match. So it was the third longest of the, it was the second longest match of the night. Second longest match, close by the next one, which was El Phantasmo versus Goto. Okay, this is a good one, but this one's pretty much like makes me, realize how close everything is on the B block now. Goto is now shy of those 10 points that he needs. ELP has come up. He's out, but he could still get another win. We're going to talk about that. I can't wait to go over the predictions of these next 2 nights. So Goto 4-3, 8 points. ELP 2-5, 4 points at the start. We get some shoulder tackles from Goto, drop kick from ELP, snapmare takedown and some knees, pin attempt, strikes exchange. Goto whips ELP to the rope. ELP holds on, but Goto clotheslines him, cleanly bringing him back. Another pin attempt, works the neck area, big chop from Goto, whips, held on to the rope, gets boot. He boots Goto, uses the momentum to get him over the ropes. He hits the plancha, hits that moonsault from the top, and it connects. Let him do it, Yado. Senton and moonsault. This is back in the ring. Textbook ELP. Sets up for a super kick. Caught. Back elbow. Gets caught with Goto's lariat. Whip to the corner. Spinning heel kick. Back suplex. Textbook Goto. Goto pin attempt. Strikes exchange. Inverted GTR and lariat. Another pin attempt. Thrust kicked by ELP. After another snapmare. Strikes exchange. ELP starts the ultimate worrying up on the ropes. He's doing that, I did it so slow. I'm not going to do any faster than that. More strikes, ELP and Seguri, and then the lariat. Lariat's in the corner, ELP, then the Goto. Catches ELP. But ELP, this is great. Skims the cat on the corner pad. Hits the GTR. His GTR. Pin attempt, brainbuster, pin attempt. Inverted Death Valley by ELP. Then he hits that Thunder Kiss 86. We get a near fall. ELP's getting patient. Lifts Goto. He was trying to do the super kick, but he's waiting, Goto. So he lifts him up. And Goto, of course, hits a headbutt and the Ushigoroshi. We get a big kick. GTW. Near fall. I mean, usually Goto does not hit that GTW to the end. So I'm guessing that this was already about to end soon. And sure enough, GTR to a backslide by ELP. Super kick. CR2 blocked into a roll-up Goto. Roll-up ELP, roll-up Goto. Crucifix roll-up ELP wins and gets the 1-2-3 Goto, 8 points. ELP, now 3 and 5, 6 points. This was it. I mean, that went 13 minutes and 4 seconds. You know, not too short, not too long. It was in the sweet spot, but you could tell that things were like going into that final gear, and it was coming to an end after I saw that GTW. So leaves a lot of questions to be, you know, answered with, you know, regarding Hiroki Goto. Okay. Then we got the next match, second to last match, Jeff Cobb versus David Finlay. This is another one that just went quick. You just knew, I knew where it was going. They worked their match. It was a clean match too. I mean, it really was. There might have been a couple things going on with Geto, but most part, Jeff Cobb wins cleanly. I mean, this is what happens. I mean, obviously Cobb has been going hard. He was leading the block at 5-2, and no end in sight. So Finlay's just been creeping on up, and this is, you know, how he did it. Bell sounds. They slow to start. Picks up a little bit with strikes. A nice drop kick from Cobb. Finlay though uses the ropes, chop block, stomps, hammer on the head. Finlay stands on Cobb, who does a push-up. It's pretty impressive to see him do that push-up at it like really quickly while Finlay is standing on him. Finlay, again, he starts to do sit-downs, pin attempt, more kicks as Cobb's getting a little irritated. But he hits an Irish curse, does Finlay. Usually done much later in the match. Cobb, though, pushes off. We get an SOS slam. It's just, sometimes I just, you know, get little brain farts here when I'm thinking of a move that's just pretty fundamental. A lift, he lifts him and just tosses him back. There's another name for it that just sounds so much more folkish, if you will. Shoulder tackles aplenty, running back elbow, big drop. Like Finlay is a ragdoll. Pin attempt, Finlay back up with elbows, but Cobb catches Finlay in the spin cycle. Okay, so again, these are moves that are just usually held out for the end game. Finlay outside, he rakes the eyes in desperation. He shoves Cobb into the post, runs through Cobb, and runs through the barricades too. Just runs through Cobb. Cobb hits the barricades. It was great. Back in the ring, forearms across the head, running lariats, pin attempt, running forearm, uppercut by Finlay. Big lift off from Cobb to create that distance. They go up top, suplex avoided, short of the knee. Somehow, Finlay basically flapjacks Cobb. I don't know how else to describe it, but we get a pin attempt, spit in the face from Finlay, trying to really piss off Jeff Cobb. I'm not sure why, but I mean, it worked. We get the hammer and the sickle, pin attempt from Cobb, moonsault, standing moonsault, another pin attempt, aloha, avoided. Again, I haven't seen it in the G1 yet. They're talking about it. The commentators, they can tell when it's coming, but it never comes. Get an acid drop from David Finlay. This is apparently one of his older moves. So he brought that back out of his arsenal. Back body by Cobb. Lariat. Cobb goes for the tour of the islands. Avoided. Backslide. Finlay can't get it. Tries for it. But he does hit the power bomb. Then we get another pin attempt. Goes for another power bomb, and the overkill for the 1-2-3. Just like that, Finlay has 10 points. You pretty much, like I said, won cleanly. I did not recognize too many things, anything dirty. It was pretty impressive. Okay, so it's what we need to see at times from a guy like David Finlay. Yuya Uemura, this is the final match of the night versus Yota Tsuji. Wasn't sure how this was going to go because I wasn't sure if Yota was going to make it to the playoffs. Now, more than ever, I'm seeing he may not be the guy. Anybody that's 8 points right now, I'm not quite expecting, except for Sonata, to somehow get through. But otherwise, I'm just kind of like, not sure how it's going to go. But what it's coming down to, which we'll talk about for nights 15 and 16, we'll talk about more of and flesh out, is that I feel like it's more than ever, it's going to come down to the ties. A lot of people are going to be tied at 10, and where they're going to look back and see, okay, well, who beat who to break these tiebreakers? That's it. But or there'll be quite a few losses that I'm hoping for, and not in a crude way, just because it will help just define who's in and who's out. We get some chain wrestling, drop toes, armbar Yuya. I mean, again, his chain wrestling, I can't tell you how sound it is. We get the arm wrench, he makes it look good, drop kick, pin attempt. Anybody who's aspiring to be a pro wrestler, you should be studying this guy right now. I'm telling you now, chain wrestling is very important. Fundamentals are so important, and this guy's the one to look at. Okay? Yoda sends him out of the ring, but Yuya Uemura is holding on to that arm, and it's looking great. Rams Yoda into the barricades, back in the ring, all the while still holding on to that arm, paying attention to detail. Finally, he breaks the hold with a shove into the corner, does Yoda, and chops after a reverse Irish whip, arm drag, head scissors, chop, but a knee from Yoda to stop Yuya. Gut buster and a splash by Yoda, pin attempt. I knew this match. I was looking forward to this match because Yuya, it's gonna confuse everybody. But whatever, it's fun. It's fun to just call Yoda and Yuya. The 4-letter names, easy to type. I love it. We get a Boston Crab kick out, but not the second time. And right into that half rope, we get a rope break. Backbreaker brought down, dodges the stomp, hits the drop kick, does Yuya. Body slam. Yuya goes up top, high fly, flow onto the knees. Then Yoda with the suicide dive out the ring, brings Yuya right back in the ring. Super kick. Get an Alabama slammer. Boston Crab. No, I don't want to do a Boston Crab accent right now. Because people like to, that's not a Boston accent. I'd be thinking about the Maryland accent, right? I was looking at them. I can do this. I'll take a little detour. The Maryland accent that was kind of highlighted in 30 Rock a long time ago. Clips of it's still available on YouTube. Every now and then I like to watch that clip that they did. And people on the comment section just they are so unaware of the joke, and maybe it's because the context, the video maybe cut out the context, because afterwards, a character tells another character, that Maryland accent is terrible, and uses the Boston accent to its max, and the joke is really not really so much making fun of a Maryland accent as much as it's just saying, okay, it's probably one of the more subtle accents compared to a Boston accent, which is very much, I've pretty much built just powered bombed that into the ground. Okay, but either way, we get from an Alabama slam from the south to Boston Crab in the north. I love it. It's Yoda Suji, baby. Let's go for some something else. Yuya, arm, hurting. Okay? But a shot to Yoda. Yoda strikes, chops to the corner. Big lariat. He hits the Marlowe crash. Thank God. Connects. Get a near fall. Spear countered to the arm drag and a pin attempt near fall. Shots exchange. Another roll up counters the suplex. And it's a 1-2-3. And it's Yuya who rolls him up. Out of nowhere, this match went 16 minutes and 9 seconds. It didn't really feel like it was a long match. And that's not bad. That's not a bad time. But it was just out of nowhere, that roll up. Yuya on the mic. Again, like I said earlier at the beginning of this review, that he did get the crowd pumped up towards the end of it. I was watching a lot of backstage stuff. I love that. I'm watching that. I'm watching that more and more to get the perspectives of the wrestlers. Excuse me. And it was cool to see guys like Shingo Takagi. Let's talk about predictions. All right, it's coming down to August 12th, night 15, August 14th, night 16. Let's get into these matches. All right. Callum Newman versus Gabe Kidd. Really doesn't matter who wins this one. I guess Kidd has somewhat of a chance. Let's go with Newman to just knock this thing out. Now, I mean, it would be great if Kidd wins, and it might give him a chance. But I could see Newman win, and that'll keep Kidd out. Sonata versus Sabre, Zack Sabre Jr. could have sworn, it's funny too, because I felt like these guys, when I first saw this match on the card, I was like, could have sworn those guys wrestled, but no, they've both wrestled Naito. They both had some high impact matches. They've both wrestled Evil. Sanada has lost to both Naito and Evil. Sabre has beaten both Naito and Evil. So I see Sanada winning, and that will keep him in. That will keep him, around where he needs to be. I see Takagi versus Jake Lee. Man, I really wanted to see Takagi win the get into the playoffs and face Naito. Whilst maybe Sabre gets the bye, and I'm thinking that's what's going to happen, and I think it's going to be Shingo versus Lee. We see Takagi win. That's just the way it's going to go. I think it'd be awesome if Jake Lee won, just because he's such a wild card. And he's making such an impact towards the end of this G1. But I got to go with Shingo Takagi. So, Evil versus Umino. This is where I'm going with Umino winning and knocking out Evil. I'm very adamant about Evil being knocked out. Not that I want him out. I just think that's where it's going. He did really well throughout most of the G1. But now he's getting his comeuppance. And he's going to lose to Shota Umino. And that essentially will ruin his chances. He's already lost to Takagi. He's already lost to Naito. And he's already lost to Sabre. So no matter if he tied with Sabre, well, obviously he doesn't. But if he ties with Naito and Shingo, they've already booted him out. And that's what's going to happen. So there it is. Now, if Lee was to win, he'd be tied with Evil. Unless, of course, Evil won. But if Evil and Lee were tied up, Lee would lose to Evil out in the playoffs. But no. So I'm going with Evil to lose to Shota Umino. Great-O-Khan versus Naito. I just can't see. It would be awesome if Khan won just because of how he went from losing like 4 matches to winning 5 straight in a row. I see Naito winning, and that's it. And he's going. He's going to the playoffs. So there you go. Let's get to August 14th. I'm going to talk. We got Inari versus Hiroki Goto. If Goto wins, I guess he still has a chance. Man, it's a close call. So here's the thing. Finlay's already in. Finlay would have to lose to get to ELP in order and Goto will have to win. Takeshita will have to lose to Ren Narita. I don't think that's going to happen. Cobb versus Suji, I gotta give to Jeff Cobb. So we'll see. So I'm trying to avoid anything. I mean, this is it. I'm gonna go with Hinari beating Goto, and that knocks them both out. I mean, they're both out. That's it. Cancels each other out. ELP loses to David Finlay, and Finlay's in. Takeshita defeats Narita, and that puts him in. And that's it. Cobb defeats Yota Tsuji, and he's leading the B block. So we'll get Finlay versus Takeshita in the playoffs. That would be a badass playoffs match. That's what I'm seeing. So there it is. This is going to be shaping up to be a hell of a tournament. That's really my final verdicts right there. After looking at everything, I like to do it live. I like to do it and show you my way of thinking. But my predictions is straight up Naito, Shingo, okay, in the brackets, while Sabre gets the bye, and then Finlay versus Takeshita, while Cobb gets the bye. And there you have it. Those are my predictions leading up to the brackets and the finish of the round robin. It's been great, guys. We'll get into the brackets. I'll watch this. I'll give you a little review, and we'll talk about predictions for the tournament after everything is said and done. And we'll talk about how things are going to play out in the end of the G1. And I'm sorry because I'm so stuck. But that's really makes the most sense. However, I forgot about one little piece, and that is Sonata. Sonata really has to. It's going to take something. But if Sonata, see, this is the thing. If Lee wins, he's tied with, and even if Sonata wins, he would be tied. Sonata would be, Lee would be over Sonata in the tiebreaker. Same with Naito. So Sonata, I think, is out. That's just the way. I mean, it's crazy to think about it, but I'm pretty sure Sonata is out. There's going to be a lot of maneuvering to get him in, and that would mean Great-O-Khan would have to win, beat Naito, knock him out. That's really what I'm seeing here. Obviously, Umino would have to beat the Evil, keep him out, because these two guys have both beaten Sonata. Jake Lee will also have to be taken out, and then Sonata would go through. So the only other thing I'm seeing, I know it's like, oh, well, you just said this. Okay, but this is the stretch, all right? So it's going to be Naito and Shingo with Sabre in the bye. Or it's Sonata and Shingo. Oh no. Sonata and Shingo is what I'm thinking. And then Sabre again in the bye. But we don't know. It's coming down. I am perplexed. I want to go. Boy, I wish I could just say Sonata and Naito, but I don't see how that's going to happen. Look, I think they're going to hold off that match until Wrestle Kingdom. Maybe Shingo. Yeah. I guess I'm going to go with Shingo, Sonata, and Sabre knocking out Naito, which I guess that's the only way it would make sense. And then we get matches leading up to Wrestle Kingdom between Shingo and Naito, Sabre and Naito, because these are the two guys that beat him. Evil and Naito, another one that beat Naito, and all leading up to Wrestle Kingdom with Naito versus Sonata, who I think is going to win. That's it. That's really where we're going with this. We'll get into it again, because things, I'm not always right. I can, humble enough to admit that this can go any which way, and we'll see what happens. Guys, it's been great. It's been a great time. I've been having a lot of fun with this. I only have more fun. We're just under an hour, and I only have more fun with it. The more I talk about it, the more I look at the matches. It's a great time. I know not everybody's into New Japan Pro Wrestling, especially in the West. In the West, but I mean, it's fun and it's a great time if you get into it, and it's a blast covering this. This will be one of my last. When we get towards the end of the summer, I'm going to have to cut back as I resume my teaching, but it's been great. It's great getting back into it after our big move, my wife and I's big move. It's been a lot of fun. I'll definitely, for heads up, be covering All In with my good friend Jonathan. AEW will be doing a Shoots and Swerves. Okay, from across the ocean, from the EU to Maryland. That's all I'm gonna say. to the DMV. I don't know what to tell you. It's like, yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to get back on, streaming and going, live with at Bad Guy Wrestling. Now, on that note, I'll try to get another review in tonight, or at least just cover as much as I can to watch these matches, and then we'll get into the review, and we truly will be caught up with the G1. And until next time, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button at ChannelCortez33 for Instagram and Twitter. Y'all take care. Have a good one.